Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? I sang it twice because I fucked up the first time. How bloody dare I? I'm not one of these rubes. Welcome to another episode of the apocalypse. And since you have unwisely chosen the apocalypse, you are in urgent need of a guide. I am Niklas, your humble guide. I am here to hold your hand as the revelation is unfurled before your very eyes. Take my hand, walk through the door with me, lest ye lose your eternal soul. Quoting Napoleon now, are we, Donny Shitbags? Well, Rubes, do you know what Napoleon did to his people and his country? Do you know what Adolf Hitler did to his people and his country? They brought their countries and armies to abject ruin! Rubes, as you cheer it on, Napoleon in all his wisdom, all 5 foot even of him, marched his army into Russia and dared the Russian winter and the Russian geography, which is enormous, without perfect supply lines and some really hot camps. You ain't surviving the Russian winter, son. Adolf thought he was wise as well, and he marched his army into Russia. And he did not get out before winter. And he did not understand the geography, the scale of it, the sheer scale. That's what happens when a cult forms around a madman who wants to take over the world. Well, our cult here in America, there are 2 cult leaders that want to own and take over the world. I wonder which one will succeed. Unfortunately for both of them and their father, the dragon, there is no success in their future. For it is written that they shall burn before all of our eyes at the hands of one Jesus Christ. Already done, past, present, and future are one. Yes, let us begin. President Donald Trump, or Donny Shitbags as I like to call him, administration has denied Georgia Governor Brian Kemp's request to give local governments more time to apply for federal disaster assistance after Hurricane Helene. I guess Georgia's part of the revenge tour, and I'll explain in a moment why they are. Governor Brian Kemp said supporting Trump in 2024 was a business decision. Let me stop right here for a moment. How many of you in your life have done some shady-ass bullshit? We all have at times, but some of us are just so much more about it than others. Some of us have remorse. Most of us don't. Because it's all about success. That's what they pound into your head from the time you're an infant. Don't be a loser. Don't be someone without a lot of money. That's worse than death. Sacrifice relationships for it. Sacrifice friendships for it. Sacrifice your soul for it. Sacrifice your reputation for it. Your marriage for it. Your money for it. Your energy for it. So when you fuck someone over, oh, it's just a business decision. That makes it all go away. No, son, it doesn't. It does not. Trust me. Or you fuck a friend over, or you fuck someone over that gave you a promotion. Let me tell you a quick story. This is just one example of a million I've seen. So many disappointments in this world that I dared take seriously for even 5 minutes. A woman I used to work with at a place I won't name. I became friends with her. Other people became friends with her. She was a fuck up. She'd be late. She'd need time off, this, that. She was a fuck up. And she got a little supervisory position. Well, eventually, the boss that covered for her many times, who was an okay woman, Gave her another promotion. Now she's assistant manager. But she has dreams, like so many of you do. She wants to be manager. And she feels she deserves that. So what does she start doing? She starts only hiring people like her. And I won't say like her, what like her means. Only people like her, part of her group in society. Only those types of people would get hired after, if she was in on the decision. What you started to see after that was people that had been there for years start to get fired, other assistant managers, other supervisors, other employees, all at the hands of this fuck up that got a promotion from a friend who was her manager, who was a nice woman. Guess what eventually happened to that manager who was a nice woman? Well, she got her fired too. Boy, that ambition in some of you people. And it don't matter if someone covered for you. And I wasn't going to tell this story, but it kind of just came to mind. Doesn't matter. Success is all that matters. And in no other place would that girl have ever gotten that promotion. That's what I find fascinating about so many of you humans, especially the MAGA cult, the right-wing podcasters that have zero fucking talent. They're just giving you what you want in the novel 1984, your 45 seconds of rage, whatever it was. That's daily. Funny how 1984 is so much like our life. We have our own news channels and updates we watch, so we get our 30 seconds of rage. Again, whatever it was called in the book. I haven't read it in years, but I definitely get the idea, son. Unfortunately, not a lot of you out there get it as well, or at least 35% of our country. Let me be fair here. Hitler's movement was minority as well. Anyway, my point is, calling things a business decision or it's just business. That's what that woman told me when I tried to give her a little lecture one day. She did not like that lecture either because me and her were friends. But let me tell you something. When I start seeing someone be a scumbag, our friendship ends real quick. So I gave her a little lecture in a nice way. I wasn't mean about it. She didn't want to hear none of that. She was more concerned with being a scumbag and fucking over people that were her friends and helped her get where she got. Just like Leon. We all helped him get where he is. He grifted a whole bunch of welfare off the government. So because some liberals trusted him with the whole electric car thing and they wanted that agenda to go forward. And I don't mind the electric car agenda, and I don't care that the liberals tried to do that. What I do care about is the scumbag South African bloated oligarch who for some reason only wants to IVF women. I don't know what's up with that, but I have a theory. We made him rich. His daddy wouldn't just hand him the money. He handed him a little bit to get him started. And by a little bit, it's probably in the millions. Just like Donnie, I assume. Of course, Leon would never admit that. We made him rich. This country, this nation. How does he repay us? Overthrows the government, buys the presidency, is dismantling our government and looting our government as we speak, has looted $440 billion so far. And he ain't done yet. And the trolls love to say online that he doesn't need money. He's not concerned with money. Son, anyone with $400 billion, that's all they concern with is money. You don't get to $400 billion, $300, $200 billion without always being concerned with money, son. It doesn't exist. Sorry. So yes, this person, oh, and not to mention they're a Satanist. They literally, wear the crest on their chest. They're all about it. And I really wonder why Satan always picks pussies. I don't know, but I guess he likes that. So dismantling our country, I see post after post of some of you rubes that voted for Leon and Donnie, and you were voting for a package deal. Don't lie to us, lie to yourself. And then there's good people that didn't co-sign this, didn't put their name on it, that are losing their jobs as well. That's the thanks you get for your MAGA participation. And that's the thanks the rest of us get for not participating and our tax money going to that cunt. So he can build his death traps. Well, the liberals didn't know they were going to be death traps. They had no idea. They didn't know Leon was going to, half-ass it. But he did. So he betrayed all of us because we're the only reason he's rich. What other country would have gave him that kind of money? There isn't one, son. He knew where to come and grift, and he knew the target audience to grift from. So yes, calling something business and being repaid with treachery for generosity, for friendship, for faith and belief. That's Leon, and that's that cunt bitch I used to work with who backstabbed everybody. Oh, it's just business. That's what she said to me when I gave her my lecture. It's just business. Oh, really? We'll see about that in the end if it was just business. If the man agrees that it was just business as you backstabbed all your friends. Trump just denied Kemp's request to extend Hurricane Helen relief for Georgia's local governments. Kemp's business decision is costing Georgia big. Indeed, Georgia. A lot of rubes in Georgia that love Donnie shitbags. This is your repayment for it. All of you that voted for him, and for those of you that didn't vote for him, and the government workers and Mr. Kemp himself, who decided to support the guy who tried to extort their state for 11,000 more votes. Remember that? The perfect phone call? Donnie proving he's a traitor and betraying America again by calling people in Georgia, didn't do a day in jail for it, and manipulating an election and pressure officials into manipulating an election illegally. The phone call itself is illegal, in my opinion, even though he used mob talk. He's all about mob. What do you think pulling troops out of Canada, pulling troops out of Europe is? That's a protection racket, son. He wants to be paid for American troops protecting their territories. The thing is, those troops ain't there to protect their territories. They're there to attack Russia if they attack us. That's the only reason. Canada is the gateway to America from the north for Vlad if he chose to do that. That's why our troops are up there also for quicker strike response at Russia, which is right across from Alaska and Canada, according to Sarah Palin. In Europe, our troops are there in case Russia starts some shit. Over here, or anywhere. Quick response, that's all we're there for. We ain't there to protect Europe. We ain't there to protect Canada. Yet Donnie still wants tribute and protection racket money. Panama Canal, same thing. You got to pay Donnie. That's classic mob protection racket. I go into the local 7-Eleven in New York City, me and my crew of Italian boys. Hey, you're doing good business over here. Look at this shit selling like hotcakes. Yeah, it's kind of dangerous here in the city. You know what? We'll look out for you from this point forward. And, you just pay us, say, $2,000 a day. You're cool with that, right? Or do we got to, get physical? That's Donnie shitbags. That's what he's doing around the world. That's what you put your name on. Thuggery. The philosophy of mob. Literally, classic Italian mob. Protection racket. They got street, this street to this street. Every store pays them tribute for security. What do you think Donnie's doing every day? Anyway, back to Georgia. They didn't find him as 11,000 votes, so now fuck you when you need money for a disaster or something. If Mr. Kemp asks for it. Maybe we should send, one of the cultists to ask for it. Maybe they'd work out better. Maybe Marge should ask for it. She's a congressman for your state, Georgia. I wonder why Marge isn't advocating for you good folks. Oh, that's right. She's in the cult. She's a Nazi. She's a white supremacist. She couldn't give a fuck about one person in Georgia. And she'd lie, cheat, steal, and kill to get more power. That's Marge Green, baby. In all her three-toed fucking glory. Steroid masculine-ass glory. But you guys dig that down there, I see, in Georgia, in her district. You dig that masculine steroid ass. You dig the squeaky voice Ben Shapiro's, Tim Pool's, Tucker Carlson's. Why do you like those dudes so much? You know what I mean? I'm a little suspicious, you know. America is finally being run like a business acquired by private equity that's being stripped for parts before being liquidated. Yes, son, have you noticed they ain't building shit? They just tearing down, and they taking the spoils for themselves. In the first month, they showed their hand. What priority one was. Getting Musk and Altman those contracts worth over $1 trillion. That was priority one. Oh, and you losing your job if you're a federal worker. That was priority one. Them getting access to the Treasury, priority one. Access to our nuclear secrets, priority one. You rubes are the stupidest creations ever that have walked this earth. You watch the evil play out before you, and you still put your name on it. They loot you in front of your very eyes, and you put your name on it. You fight for it. You cheer on your own destruction, literally. You co-sign the literal Antichrist and the literal false prophet. And yes, America's being liquidated. And guess who's keeping all the money? Donnie, Leon, and the boys. As the rubes debate, argue, and sing their praises. It's incredible to watch the cult mentality. It's worse. Jim Jones ain't got shit on Donnie. Because you've already, all of you, have already drank the Kool-Aid, and you did it voluntarily. You didn't have to be forced like Jim Jones forced his congregation to drink the Kool-Aid. You said, please, you drank it and you said, can I have some more before I die and before our nation dies? And you still drinking it. That's incredible. That's incredible. Jim Jones ain't got shit on Donnie, boy. You think Jim Jones killed a lot of people via his cult? Wait till you see how many Donnie kills and Leon and their daddy, the dragon. Because that's what you're dealing with. You dealing with an evil son you don't even fathom. You can't fathom it. You haven't contemplated it. You probably don't even know it exists. Those two things, the bloated beluga whale-shaped South African oligarch and the orange-faced Messiah, are two of the most evil sociopaths that were ever born. And the fact that they've now been elected the beast and false prophet by Satan proves that statement in spades, son. You do not even know what these people are thinking. You hear what they say, and that's evil enough, my God. But what they're thinking that they're not saying, what they're worshiping, what they're really thinking every day, evil you can't even fathom. It will bear out before your eyes. Don't matter if you agree with me, don't agree with me, hate me, love me. Doesn't matter. It's coming anyway, son. And you made it happen. Oh, here's Leon. Do you remember that U.S. aid agency that Leon and Donnie and all the boys kept saying was fraudulent and horrible and a waste of money? Well, Leon's gotten money from it, large amount of money. Melania's gotten money from it. Ivanka's gotten money from it in the past. I thought it was such an evil, fraudulent organization. USAID signed off on $1 million in contracts for Elon Musk's Starlink terminals in the last year. So this ain't, 20 years old here. Leon getting money. This is in the last year he got money from this organization. Yet according to Leon and Donnie and the boys, it's a fraudulent horror organization. Well, Leon, why'd you take the money? Oh, that's right. You take money from a baby. You'd have your hand out to anybody that'll put money in it, son. You might as well be a bum on the corner of the street. In fact, the bum on the corner of the street is way less of a leech on society than you are. I've never seen a leech of your beluga-shaped magnitude, son. And then you're a Nazi on top of it? My God. You got all kind of problems. You'd make Freud kill himself. That's how fucked up you are, son. So yes, U.S. aid. Apparently Melania didn't think it was fraudulent when she got her money. Ivanka wasn't thinking it was fraudulent when she got her money. And Leon, any money that gets put in his hand, of course, that's not fraudulent. When other people get it, though, that's fraudulent. That's Leon's definition of fraudulent. Any money that doesn't go into his bank account is a fraudulent transaction. Biggest leech and parasite on society ever, Leon scum. Never seen anything like it. So I guess U.S. aid ain't that corrupt and fraudulent, huh, guys? Of course, you'll still say it is because you're good little parrots. Musk is so stupid, exhibit 10544. There aren't thousands of 150-year-olds getting paid Social Security. There are null values in a database he doesn't understand how to read. I don't expect you rubes to understand what null values are or anything about coding or anything because you're fucking rubes. But what this means is there's no 150-year-olds getting any Social Security at all. It's a computer algorithm and program putting certain names and people in a classification and not paying them jack shit. Let's get a little bit of the details. Hopefully you're capable of understanding it. And again, I'm talking to a specific segment of the population here, 35%, and the trolls that are working for money until this comes to their doorstep and they realize they shouldn't have been doing it for money, whatever country you currently are in, or trolls or bots for Leon, or trolls or bots for Donnie, who knows? I don't care. And when I talk to a robot, I'm talking to the person that sent it, and they hear me, believe me. It looks like Elon's genius coders don't know how COBOL works. We'll just call it COBOL. I'm not a programmer guy, so bear with me. Social Security runs on COBOL, which does not use a date or time type. So the date is stored as a number using the ISO 8601 standard. The epoch for this is 150 or 150 years, excuse me, 150 years ago, 1875, aka the meter standard. So if you don't know the date of something, it will be a zero value, which in COBOL will default to 1875, 150 years ago. Do you get it now, Rubes? No, of course you don't. And here's Don Jr. This is why the person posted this. Cokehead Jr., who needs to take gum hits when he's out in public. Oh my God, it's so bad what's been happening to our country and your money. Breaking, Musk says there's people over 150 years old collecting Social Security. And again, Rubes, if you ever believe these people for even 1 second, you're either as crooked as they are or you're just stupid. Leon, Mr. Coder, who's supposed to know code, either lied about it and knew the code was doing this, or he just didn't know. I have a feeling he might have known. Because he needs talking points like this that 150-year-olds are getting Social Security, because that's all you rubes are looking for. You're not looking for the truth. You're not looking for wisdom. You're looking for talking points from the cult leaders and from the right-wing grift/terror machine, because you're too stupid to make arguments for yourself and to think for yourself and to be able to make an argument for 3 hours like I do without a fucking script. Without Fox News talking points, Leon talking points, or lies. Fox News, 750, million? Almost $1 billion they got to pay for defamation. And if they would have carried out the court case, it would have been $5 billion they would have had to pay. That's why they paid 750, son. And that's the only reason. And if they want to take my statements to court, we can go over all the records that were in the first case. I'll just subpoena that evidence and prove you're actual defamers in a court of law. Unfortunately for me, we don't have that much time left for this entire planet, so who gives a fuck? Guess I gotta put my energy into other things, don't I? So yes, it was a coding issue. It wasn't that 150-year-old, just another lie from the right-wing grift/terror machine, because, you know, they have no facts to stand on, and the rubes have no facts in their lives. They have to make shit up, like Haitians are eating geese and shit, as white guys are capping geese with shotguns, while Joey the jerk-off's trying to have a round of golf. They got to make up shit like 150-year-olds are getting Social Security, because when your agenda is evil, when you're of Satan and that's what you're working towards, you don't have the truth or facts or issues on your side. You have to do shit like this. Complete, total, utter fabrications. Because one more time, the rubes are only looking for talking points. They ain't smart enough to think for themselves in any capacity. They just need a constant barrage of talking points to throw at people that dare point out the evil, the Nazism, whatever's going on, the concentration camp, them still trying to pretend Van Rensburg wasn't guarding that door. I just got the community note notification again today. They really don't want you to think that was Van Rensburg in that brown shirt at that door. That's Toby Jansen Van Rensburg, actually. But I'll get to that in a moment. Only you can prevent forest fires. Seriously, we've been defunded. It's just you now. That's what Smokey the Bear says now, son. 3,000 or 300, I can't remember. I think it was 3,000 forest workers laid off. And then, you know, a week, 2, 3 weeks ago, whatever, 4 weeks ago, Donnie was trying to tell Gavin how to handle forest fires. This is how Donnie handles forest fires. 3,000 workers laid off. But sure, it's about, you know, having a better style of government, getting rid of that, trimming the fat, right? No, it's a dismantling and looting, son. That's all it is. Sorry. But I know you got your talking points and you're being good parrots. Be the paid parrots or not. Or trolling for an agenda parrots or not. You're just a parrot. That's your existence on this planet, man. Damn, that's pathetic. Parroting lies for a paycheck or whatever to destabilize nations or whatever. As your nation. Be it India, Russia, wherever you trolls are. Abject shitholes. Just like Donnie says. Third world shitholes. In India, they have a problem with public defecation. Did you know that? That's where they at as a society. In comparison to us. Russia, mostly a third world country, don't even have running water or fucking electricity, jack shit. That's where they at as a society. Full of thuggery, murder, people going out of windows. India is just another example of a country that has pimped out their population to the first world, just like China. Same thing. Nothing more. Caste system over there. Hideous. Hideous. They're willing to work for nothing. That's why the H-1B visa program exists. Why? Why are they willing to work for nothing? Ask yourself that question. Why are they willing to work 1/3 for 1/3 what an American is willing to? Because we don't live in a third world shithole yet. We're about to. Since you've elected to turn your country into Russia, since you voted for that. So again, why would an Indian immigrant work for peanuts on a job that pays 3 times more to an American? Because their country is an abject fucking shithole. And they want to get the fuck out of that life. Why do a lot of people from South America come over our border? Because their countries are abject shitholes and they want to get out of that life. Why are they shitholes? Because thuggery and greed reign and there is zero freedom. The same thing that's about to happen here for the first time. All you rubes are about to experience what 1984 is like. Read the novel. Prepare yourself, whether you voted for this or not. And you'll see what's coming. And that's exactly what's coming. Our society in a lot of ways was already like that novel, even as free as we were. But now we're about to lose those illusory freedoms like free speech, etc. Because let's be honest, only certain people had free speech in this country. You know, it just depended who you were talking about. You're talking about some gypsy mobsters that send men to kill you. Well, you ain't allowed to say that stuff. You're critiquing Donnie Shitbags. Well, you ain't allowed to say that stuff. You're critiquing Leon. You ain't allowed to say that stuff. But anyway, 3,000 forest workers. Oh, I forgot. Someone actually tried to argue in favor for this, and they used all the standard talking points. What's wrong with getting rid of the 3,000 people? They were just DEI hires, lazy asses. Anyway, basically that's what they were trying to say. Yeah, I'm sure all 3,000 of those forest workers were all lazy, one, and they were all DEI hires. You know, like the entire Trump administration, where your only qualification is, are you sycophant enough? Will you kneel and lick my boots? You don't have to be qualified. That's DEI all day, Rube. And nepotism, family members, father-in-laws getting pardons out of jail, jailbird family members coming to work in government, son. You wouldn't know DEI if it slapped you in the face. Our entire top level of government is DEI right now. Not a one of them have earned that spot. They're just sycophants. So no, the 3,000 forest workers were not DEI hires and they weren't lazy. You're just being dismantled and looted, Rube. And if you're paid to say these things and you're from another country, India or Russia, that's what I meant to say. Your country was looted. If you're India 1,000 years ago, if you're Russia, your country was looted about 100 years ago. And you've been living in a looted nation your entire life, your entire existence. That's why you're so eager to get the fuck out of it. Outbreak updates. Something is happening in Italy. Pneumonia cases in Lombardy's emergency rooms are surging up 63% from last year. Damn, 63%. With 5,900 cases in the first 3 weeks of January, the spike is even worse among children aged 6 to 14, where cases have quadrupled. Again, don't panic. I just have to give updates because our government doesn't care enough. They don't want you to have the updates. They know some plagues are coming, son. They know who they are, these two individuals, the two co-presidents. They know plagues are coming. They can't have that. So they shut down the notification services. They looted those too. And they told them not to communicate with the public. Because, why would the public want updates about tainted food, recalls, bird flu, whatever? Why would the public? You don't need that in your life, right, Rubes? You don't need those stinking updates about bird flu or measles or anything. Tainted food, right? You got it all figured out, right? All wise. Again, we'll see how wise everyone is when we stand at the lake. We'll see how your wisdom bears out, if it's found wanting or not. For you are the hand of Satan in this world. You've been for decades, and you don't even know it. That's how stupid you are. And Satan knew that. That's why he chose you. Don't be the hand of Satan anymore. Whether you like me or not, because you ain't doing me no favors, son. Your anger, whatever, at what I'm saying, whatever path you walk, don't mean jack shit to me. Don't get me where I'm going. Only for your benefit, son. That's the only reason these words are being spoken. You wouldn't understand that concept, though, either. Something higher than all of this bullshit. You got GOP Jesus. You don't need nothing else, right? Right, Jed? Oh, here's a great caricature of Leon talking to the poorest people of the world as he stands in front of his pile of treasure like a fat, bloated, pasty, pale dragon, albino dragon. And there's one bag actually marked federal funds Musk gets. They should have put federal funds Musk loots. Like that 440 he just got. And that's what it be, not an M, son. And Leon's telling the poorest of the poor, no more free lunch, as Leon has eaten nothing but free lunches since he got here, son. No one has gotten more welfare in the history of mankind. No one has leached more of society, and Americans especially, than this fat fuck right here. As he's telling the poor, no more free lunch, you're part of the parasite class. No, son, the elites are the parasite class. They've leached so much money from us and resources. Their existence is naught but leechery. Especially Leon. He's the head, fattest albino leech who throws up Nazi salutes and then tries to tell us how, where our money should go as a government, as a country, who's fraudulent, who isn't. Have you seen Leon's stock based on nothing? If there ever was a fraudulent Ponzi scheme going on, baby, Leon would know all about that. He may put Bernie Madoff to shame in the end when everybody really all figures it out and gets the details. I don't see how these people will ever face justice, though. I know they're going in the lake, but will they have to face justice at the hands of the people after they do all the things they do? I wonder about that. Like Mussolini. I wonder. Because wait till you Rube see everything that's going to happen. I have a feeling people are going to want justice at the end of it. I know we're going to get eternal justice. I'm just curious about what kind of earthly justice will take place. Because this ends one place, again, for all of you that follow them to the abyss. It ends up at the lake, and that's a promise. And those aren't my words. Those are the words of the entity you allege to believe in, but never knew you, unfortunately. In case you were wondering if Republican lawmakers really support Trump and President Musk's most unconstitutional efforts to rule as twin dictators, here's a report. Several House Republicans are preparing articles of impeachment against the federal judges blocking some of President Trump's and Elon Musk's key policies. Why are the phrases always President Trump's and Elon Musk's? You don't find that strange? Of course you don't. So we've already got big talk and drafted legislation to go after any judge that dares rule against Donnie. I told you they're going to get tired of this whole democracy thing and law thing and ruling thing. Judges. They don't have time for it. They're going to lay the hammer down. And rubes, that's not a good thing. That's just another step towards dictatorship and being exactly like Russia, where even you can get thrown out a fucking window. Don't matter how loyal you is or how down you are with the cult. And we're going to learn that too. We're going to get the millionth example of a rube being fucked over and still trying to be a rube. So we've got articles of impeachment for judges that could possibly play out in the near future. And here's Donnie today. This is very important. Donnie randomly puts up a quote by Napoleon. He who saves his country does not violate any law. Anyone that says something like that, now you're justifying any action whatsoever. Somebody made a good point. So if someone takes Donnie out and they think they're saving the country, then he violates no law, right? That's not going to happen. Don't worry. He's the Antichrist. He has a special blessing. He's got an appointed place and time for death, just like Adolf did. They kept trying to kill Adolf. Didn't work. Why? He had the blessing of Satan. Wasn't supposed to die to an appointed time, appointed place. Any attempts to stop it failed miserably. Same thing would happen with Donnie if anyone tried that bullshit. It will fail. You will not succeed. Don't try it. So Donnie quotes Napoleon and basically gives a satanic principle that, you know, the ends justify the means. That's how you rubes live your life. Well, the ends is Jesus, and Donnie equals Jesus in my mind, and I hate liberals. So I'll work with, I don't know, Satan, literally, to make sure my biases are confirmed and I feel good about myself and there's a Republican president. In other words, the ends justify the means. I'll literally join the cult of the Antichrist and the false prophet. I'll cheer it on. I'll argue for it. I'll stick my foot further and further up my ass, and still I'll tell the world how great it all is. That's your existence. And again, you're the hand of Satan right now. I hope for your sake, not for mine, that you turn away. Whatever. Listen or don't. So this person says, neo-Nazi terrorist and convicted mass murderer Anders Breivik, who killed 77 people in Norway in 2011, cited this same Napoleon quote in his manifesto. Isn't that great? That's because it's a satanic principle. The ends don't justify the means. God would never agree with that principle. And who gets to decide whether you're saving your country or not? Well, that'd be Donnie that decides whether he's saving the country. That's what he tells you, rubes, right? He's saving the country from the evil liberals. Why? Because it was so bad before, right? How many of you government worker rubes are rethinking your entire existence right now? Wow, I just lost my career. I've been in the cult for fucking 8 years. You're stupid. You're in a cult. They don't care about you. They never did. And if you don't realize that by now, I don't know what to tell you, son. The brainwashing is just too deep and you're lost. Forever, eternally lost. You're going to follow them right to the lake. Every single person that takes the mark goes automatically. into the lake. Again, that's not my judgment. That's someone way bigger and more powerful than me saying that, not me. That entity you allege to believe in. Again, this quote, this is very ominous coming from this current Nazi Reich we've got going. And I know exactly where they are going. So it's much more ominous in my eyes than maybe yours. Because you don't know. I've read the scripture over and over and over again. I know the horrors that are coming. You don't. So when I see a statement by Napoleon, and then I hear people co-signing it about judges, that tells me something horrible is about to go down. He didn't put this out for nothing. It's fodder for the rubes. So when they make that move, the rubes can parrot this talking point. It also lets the cult know, hey, you got the go-ahead. Like he always does, inciting violence. He's done it over and over again. And one more time for the rubes, a history lesson. I know you don't care about history and you wouldn't understand the moral of the incident of any historical story because it's just a meaningless story to you. You're about beer, football, cheating on your wife, sleeping with hookers, all that kind of good stuff, and you know, spouting Nazi talking points and right-wing GOP Jesus talking points. I know. But here's the history lesson again, not that you'll listen. Napoleon, after he was exiled, or it might have been before, I can't remember how it played, if it was the final attack or the one before he was exiled. Again, another person that was in power, was taken out of power, was exiled, and then somehow, man, everybody said, let's try it again. Probably cultists just like you folks that are all about Donnie Shitbags and Leon. So after Napoleon brings the country to ruin and fucks up left and right, let's try him out again. Let's bring him back from Elba. Maybe he's changed. The end result was Napoleon brought his country to ruin. He brought his army to ruin, marched them into Russia, stayed there for winter. Most of them didn't come back. Just from the trek back from Russia to France. Because they followed a madman. Like you're doing. Guess what's going to happen to America because of it? It's over already, but it's going to be in ruin. There's a piece of scripture you might not have heard about. It talks about the city that all the merchants of the earth did business with. And how they're lamenting and crying because that city don't motherfucking exist no more. I have a feeling that's an American city. Probably not the one you're thinking of, though. That's coming. That's going to be an American city. You know that, right? New York or D.C.? I'm leaning towards D.C., though. Because that's where Donnie is. Again, he who saves his country does not violate any law. Again, Napoleon brought his army to ruin. People freezing to death on the trek back home because they thought they big and bad. They're going to take Russia. They're going to take the bear. No, it's too big. Especially back then before modern technology. There's no chance. It would take generations to cover that landmass. So it was, you know, it's a ridiculous idea, these men of that era, thinking they would take countries like Russia by force. Most of his troops dead, country in ruin. That was what France got for giving Napoleon another try. You know, the guy Donnie Shitbags just quoted. So what kind of portent for America does that, what does that tell you, rubes? That we're being dismantled, looted, Then he's quoting Napoleon, who brought his country to ruin. Copy of Hitler's speeches next on his nightstand. These are the people he idolizes that bring their nations and the world to ruin, bring their own people especially to abject ruin. So yeah, I don't know if I'd be quoting Napoleon because he was an abject failure just like Donnie. And I don't know if I'd be so fascinated by Hitler's speeches unless I was trying to use them to get a bunch of rubes to go along with me and Satan. Remember Toby Jansen Van Rensburg? I have his picture here, but I don't feel like finding it. We have a site called Primize. I assume people like the hacker people I've been following or people that know put photos into this website and it'll do a search of the internet and, you know, it'll tell you any photos of this person, you know, so you can get more info about them, see what they're about, see where they are on the internet. You can verify things. So again, they said this Toby Jansen Van Rensburg guy was not the guy at the door. They lied their motherfucking ass off. And they tried to say it was another guy. And that on the social media account of Van Rensburg, he put a picture of himself and he put something about, that's not me, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't very long at all, which tells me it's all bullshit. And this tells me it's all bullshit. A person with actual hacking skills and one of the people that broke this story who got attacked by, I don't know, 3,000 blue check trolls, which tells me all I need to know. One, how livid Leon is that we know who this person is and know he was there. Two, that they really want to keep it a secret. Dude, we got Hitler Youth, we got Nazi salutes. Of course it was fucking Van Rensburg there, man. In a brown shirt. Of course it was. It goes right along with the rest of it, doesn't it? But that's not my only evidence with the missing variable in the algebra equation. Is it really him? I wasn't there. I've never met the man. There's 2 pictures online, or 3 actually. The man standing at the door with the brown shirt, his website for his security company, like Martin Kirsten has, and a picture posted recently by the man who claims to be Rensburg online. That's all we got. So 2 of the pictures that were out at the time, one that's on his website, they did a Primize search on. We haven't found any results with your face. But wait a minute, this picture they used for the search came off the internet. So that internet page should come right up, right? Mr. Rensburg's site for his security company? Or his social media page? That's his picture right there. Why does no information come up? Again, this is what it looks like. There's this little picture in the corner from his social media page about a security company. That's what the Primize search looks like. Here's a picture of the gentleman standing at the door that day in the brown shirt, ironically enough. That's how creative these cunts are. Let's have actual brown shirts. Because, you know, we're cosplaying Nazis. That little tiny picture, I'm sorry. I don't feel like pulling up the large photos right now. It'll take too long. So that's the face that was standing at the door. That's a Department of Education that the congressmen were trying to get in that day. Again, a Primize search. No results. No results for both? The guy that's not Rensburg and the guy that is Rensburg? Does that make fucking sense to you? Of course it doesn't. So it's Rendsburg. They scrubbed everything. Obviously. That's why no results come up for both fucking searches. Yet one of the photos, two of the photos, the shit's all over online. So when you put the man's face that was standing at the door, well, all those online photos of him should come up, right? Or at least some of them. Not one of this specific man that was standing at the door. Not one of Toby Jansen Van Rensburg. Yet his picture was taken right off the internet. A nice clear one. Interesting, huh? I find it interesting. I see a community note on the post the day of the post or the day after, and then they send me a notification about the community note again. They really want you to think that wasn't Van Rensburg there. And notice they ain't talking much about the Hitler Youth anymore. They just want to lay low. Remember your dossiers. Remember your photos. Remember those faces. Don't ever forget. And remember Mr. Van Rensburg's face as well. Very important. Because they have all your info. And your picture. And your social. And your tax status. And your income. Everything about you. Way more than we got on them. But the one thing we do have on them is numbers. Ron Filipowski said every tyrant and dictator in human history to justify his actions. That quote by Napoleon. He who saves his country does not violate any law. And why is country capitalized? Why is law capitalized? Donnie shitbags. Exactly. It's a tyrant's justification. For rubes at the bottom, they can spout this talking point. They can feel good about themselves. Well, if it was liberals overthrowing the government with a coup, I bet you wouldn't feel so good about it, would you? If it was Muslims overthrowing the government in a coup, you wouldn't feel so good about it, would you? If it was blacks trying to overthrow the government in a coup, you definitely wouldn't like that. As long as it's white people, cultists, mostly trying to overthrow the government, no problem. I'm right there. I'm on board. Let me bring my taser. Let me bring my pepper spray. Let me wear armor. Let me beat up police. Let me rub feces on the Capitol walls. That's you folks. Imagine another group besides you trying to overthrow the government that way. I bet you wouldn't dig that too much. You wouldn't be calling them patriots, would you? Yet you call yourself that. When you're naught but traitors, every last one of you. You will go at the end of the history book before it's burned and forgotten. The cult that were all traitors to their nation, that allowed an orange-faced conman and a South African oligarch to dismantle and loot their country and kill people, alienate our allies, make treaties with our enemies, and turn America into some satanic thuggery land. That's what you've done. Again, to reduce it down to its simplest, lowest common denominator, you're the hand of Satan. Your entire movement, if you're still part of it. The literal, physical hand of Satan on earth. That is your existence at the moment. I don't care how good you think you are. Or you need to think you are. You're not. You're the hand of Satan currently, lest you turn away. Boulder County health officials advise caution as bird flu is detected in wild goose on private property. Again, Boulder County. Again, I'm just giving you these updates because your government doesn't care enough about you. Donnie, Leon, they don't want you to know these things. They just want to dismantle and loot and make you worship them. Eventually. We're getting there. Don't worry. A new swine flu strain is spreading fast in Danish pig herds, making up 27% of cases. It's evolving, drifting away from human vaccine strains, and one genotype is airborne in ferrets. And its internal genes showed up in Denmark's first 2 human swine flu infections. Yeah, this don't sound good right here. Again, you know, this is the damage being done to our country. A veteran crisis line. I believe like 300 people or something were fired. Maybe I'm getting the number wrong. Let's read it quickly because it's important. I won't be able to always read you these letters. There'll be too many, and this country will be in too much of a devastated state, and I'll be talking about other things. I'm making a point right now in our, during our descent into Satanic 1984, the final act of America and the world. I won't always be able to read these, so get them now while they're hot. I won't have time for it, and there will be much more pressing matters. But this is the initial damage. I am absolutely devastated. Last night, myself and many others at the Veterans Crisis Line were terminated without warning via an email. All you cunts, all you corporate, sad-ass, pathetic bitches firing people with an email because you're too chicken shit to face them yourself. I thought it was just business, guys. Why's it got to be done by email? Oh, that's right, because you know you're a piece of shit. And that's all your existence is. And you can't face the people you're fucking over. That's the corporate mentality. I just send them an email and send security. You know, cunts like the Hitler Youth, that's their mentality. That corporate upbringing mentality, that kind of behavior is cool. That, you know, building a company like Zuck and his friends, even though he stole the whole fucking idea, you know, 5-6 years later, he's throwing his friend under the bus for those riches. Because, you know, it's just business. So the Veterans Crisis Line people were terminated without warning via an email, because that's how corporate cowardly cunts do it. Sent after hours. Oh, that's some really coward. That's Leon corporate cowardly cunt mentality, boy. Leon's a perfect example of it. You know, the CEO comes in t-shirt, you know, I don't know, a $30,000 t-shirt and jeans, and acts like he's just one of the boys who was just born rich and just bought in. After hours, due to actions by the Trump administration, nobody, including leadership, had any idea this was coming. Well, a lot of you didn't. They didn't tell you they were going to fire the whole government. They just said they were going to cut the waste. But that wasn't the real agenda. Some of us tried to tell you before the election. The real agenda is dismantle and loot. They're not building anything. You notice that? They're only tearing shit down. This decision not only deeply affects me and my family, but will also negatively impact veterans who rely on the service. Yeah, here's Donnie caring about you veterans again. I know he loves the veterans, right? He would never call you guys suckers and losers. Never. I'm a veteran and current military member. I was hired as a military spouse. I have outstanding performance appraisal. None of this matters. You're talking about your record? When we have 2 con men in charge who just want to dismantle and loot the place, they don't give a fuck about your record. They don't care if you voted for him. They don't care about anything. And I don't know if this person voted for him. That's not the point I'm making. I'm just saying, it doesn't matter the criteria or how good you think you is or qualified or wonderful or you deserve your job. Whatever. They don't care. This is the corporate, again, model that we've had since the late mid-'80s. Oh, the shareholders, they took a dip last quarter. And we only have enough to give them each $100 extra this quarter. So we'll lay off, in order to do that, we'll have to lay off 3,000. And we don't give a fuck about one of them. So who gives us, just do it. The shareholders need an extra $100. That's corporate mentality. That's corporate religion. Since the mid-'80s. And it's only gotten worse and worse. And companies have been running more bare bones. And their product quality has been going down, down, down. Yet they still want us to buy their garbage. Of course they do. So, yeah, they don't care about anyone's record. It's the corporate model. Fire by email in the millions. And we loot all the money. We give it to the shareholders. Same thing corporations been doing. Now it's happening at your government level. And I don't expect the rubes to understand the nuance of corporate takeovers, mass layoffs, and what it's all really for. It's not for anything. It doesn't make the company more efficient or better or save any money. That money goes right to the board members. Doesn't get reinvested in the business ever. That's what's happening to your government. So their performance reviews were great. I've been a federal employee for almost 9 years. I was just 12 days away from completing my probationary period. I recently switched agencies from the Department of Defense to Veterans Affairs, which resets your first year as probationary. Boy, I guess that wasn't a good move, huh? They probably got laid off at the other job too, don't worry. I'm supposed to start my paid maternity leave in less than 10 weeks. I am crushed by what is happening under this administration. I'm begging you all to open your eyes of what's really happening in this country and stop being blinded by ignorance. This is wrong on so many levels. Again, when I hear these stories, I want to hear, did you vote Donnie or not? And I'm not convinced this person didn't, son. Unless they say they asking people to wake up after they lost their fucking career, which we all told you all would happen. I want to hear I didn't vote Donnie or I did vote Donnie. Otherwise, I got to be suspicious of your story. Being a little vague here. Telling all the details about yourself, but who'd you vote for, son? Right before you was about to take maternity leave. Who'd you vote for? Again, I don't hear anyone, I don't hear any who I voted for stuff information, so I can't have sympathy for this person, I guess. Because I feel like I'm, being lied to here. I feel like somebody may be trying to hide something in their statements in search of sympathy and rallying people to their cause. You better tell me who you voted for, and you better be sincere about it, and I better believe you. Otherwise, I can't have sympathy for you. I'm sorry. Bird flu detected in Indiana, Washington County, 14,000 turkeys affected. Boulder County health officials advise caution as bird flu is detected in wild goose on private property. I might have read that one already. The Danish pig herds. Yes, I've read that one. Oh, this is lovely news, guys. Again, more evidence that the rest of the world are allies and people we could trust for centuries. That Donnie is just shattered into nothing. Shattered into them all hating us. Well, he shattered it into this, too. Europe will be excluded from U.S.-Russia peace talks on Ukraine, Trump envoy says. So Vlad and the United States gets to decide what happens to Ukraine. Even though it's a European country, but Europe doesn't get any say. Really, that's what we're going with? So what's going to happen in response to this? I'll get to it, but look quickly, Europe's going to move on without us. Even further, they understand we're not a reliable partner anymore. Based on this, excluding Europe from the conversation, because Donnie needs his temple in Israel, and Donnie needs this war ended in Russia so he can be the man of peace. And he needs 50% of those mineral rights. So let's hop to it and get peace. Donnie trying to grift here. And he needs his credentials for being perceived as some type of messiah. Credentials like man of peace, even though he's never been that ever in his life. In 1994, Ukraine gave up its nukes in return for US and UK security assurances. When we invoked Article 5 after 9/11, our allies sent soldiers to fight our war. Ukraine sent 6,000 troops despite their citizens' protests and not being NATO members. Shame on us for electing Trump. No, shame on you for electing Trump. This is all true here. Ukraine answered the call when America wanted to go steamroll the Middle East based on 9/11, because hardly any countries wanted to answer the call. They wanted no part of some 20, 30-year fucking war with America in the Middle East. Ukraine answered the call. What is their thanks for it? What is Ukraine's thanks for getting rid of their nukes like the United States wanted them to? Millions of rubes talking shit on them, saying they're corrupt. Hunter Biden, Burisma, Joe Biden, Zelensky's an asshole. I don't want my money going there, even though we made an agreement to give them money and weapons if they needed them in the future. That's rubery for you. That's the thanks Ukraine gets for sending troops. Oh, and if we sent troops over there, oh my God, the rubes would just lose their mind. But Ukraine sent troops when we asked. Rubes, hypocrites, liars, Judases. None of that matters, right? All that matters is Donnie Shitbag says he don't want to put no more money, so you guys parrot the talking points. Donnie Shitbag says he loves Vlad. You rubes parrot the talking points. Guess what Vlad thinks of you rubes? He wants you dead, homeless, starving. He wants to see your children crying and hungry. I swear to you. He's won the war because of you. Didn't have to fire a shot. You just gave it to him. Congresswoman Taney moves to make President Trump's birthday a federal holiday. Yes, it would coincide with Flag Day, and they want to call it, I don't know, Donnie's birthday and Flag Day. Called Trump's birthday and Flag Day. That's what it would be called from now on, because we really need to attach Trump's name and celebrate his birthday, even though he has no accomplishments whatsoever except ruining our country, trying to overthrow it, stealing documents, and sowing division, chaos, and death. That's why we should have a federal holiday about that thing, right? Of course. How about a Barack Obama Day? Would you be cool with that? A Bill Clinton Day? A Joe Biden Day? How about Joe Biden's face on Rushmore or Obama's? Because that's what Donnie wants to do. That'd be cool, right? Here's the couch fucker, JD. Mexico sends a ton of fentanyl into our country. Canada has seen a massive increase in fentanyl trafficking across its border. There are 3 ways of stopping this. First is to ask nicely, which we've done. It's gone nowhere. Now we're on to the consequences phase. Wow, JD talking consequence. The couch fucker. Peter Thiel's bitch. Literally. Talking consequences. They never cared about fentanyl, son. Neither did any of you. It's just another talking point. So they can go forth with whatever agenda they want. Namely, to own Canada, Mexico, the Panama Canal, and Greenland for its mineral resources and rights. Leon wants all that. That's why. So if Fat Donnie, who is now Caesar, is in charge of Greenland, Canada, Mexico, all the way down to the very top of South America and Panama, well, then Leon gets to exploit all those rights and all those resources. It's got, backdoor access. Fentanyl's just an excuse for all that. Spare me the sob story about how Canada is our best friend. Canada was our best friend, literally. They were literally our best friend. So, but, you know, JD the couch fucker, Peter Thiel's bitch, says Canada wasn't our best friend. They've always been. Son. So that's a literal inversion of reality in his opening lie. I love Canada, have many Canadian friends. No, you don't. You don't have many Canadian friends and you don't love Canada. That's another lie. But is the government meeting their NATO target for military spending? Are they stopping the flow of drugs into our country? I'm sick of being taken advantage of. You know what, JD? I'm sick of couches being taken advantage of, son. So stop fucking them. Taking advantage. Again, the fentanyl thing, and it got community noted. I don't know if you know that. On Leon's website. You're going to love this. In 2024, the U.S. seized 43 pounds of fentanyl coming from Canada. Wow, 43 pounds. That's a lot. That's a real problem, right? Wouldn't you agree, Rubes? So then you would agree this next part's an even worse problem, right? Around 0.2% of total fentanyl seized at the border. In contrast, here's the good part, Rubes. And in contrast, that means, you know, opposed to. Canada seized 946 pounds of fentanyl coming from the U.S. So that's a ratio of 946 to 43. Wow, 43 is a lot lower of a number than 946, right, Rubes? I would say it is. It's more than double, more than triple, more than quadruple, more than 5 times. Yet the fentanyl coming from Canada is the problem, right? No, son. The fentanyl coming from America is the motherfucking problem. So what does that tell you, Rube? Don't worry, I'll explain it to you because I know you won't understand. It won't tell you nothing because you're brainwashed. That tells you the issue isn't fentanyl. The agenda isn't getting rid of fentanyl coming in from Canada. Because we send in almost 1,000 pounds over there. You know, the real crooked fucks in America that make the crooked fucks in Canada look like amateurs. You know, liars like the couch fucker J.D. Vance. So again, Rubes, the agenda isn't fentanyl. That's not why they're saying these things. That's not why they're doing these things. But you knew that already. Just like the talking points they provide for you. Just like the gypsy mobsters provided talking points for all you Rubes that watch my Cornell stuff. That's all you wanted, was someone to provide you talking points. Because your existence is that pathetic. And you'd work with the devil. The ends justify the means, right? I'm mad at Nikki, therefore I'm allowed to do anything. We'll see how that works out for you too. When we all have that party at the lake. The forest was shrinking, but the trees kept voting for the axe. For the axe was clever and convinced the trees that because his handle was made of wood, he was one of them. Yes, we've heard this saying before, or this parable before. It's a very true one. And this pattern, since I'm a student of patterns, plays out over and over and over again throughout history. And the politicians and elite peoples of the world, they know the Rubes are stupid at the bottom. And they know they'll cut their own throat if they're provided the proper talking points in advance. So this is a perfect parable for MAGA. And Donnie and Leon, well, they would be the axe head. And the thing I really should say is the key to decoding this for the rube out there that doesn't understand this parable is this solution. Tree equals rube. So you want to try it like that? Let's try it. The forest was shrinking, but the rubes kept voting for the axe, or the Antichrist in this situation. For the Antichrist was clever and convinced the rubes that because... I don't know how to do this part here. Because he provided them with the proper talking points, he was one of them. Or because he convinced them that despite him shitting in a gold toilet, he was still one of them. That's more appropriate. So yes, if you just substitute tree or understand using the code, using the solution, tree equals rube. In this parable, you'll never go wrong and you'll understand it. The United States will import 15,000 tons of eggs from Turkey due to the rapid outbreak of bird flu in the country. Wow, it sounds like it's really going great, right, Rubes? And we don't need any of these notifications about bird flu because the government got our backs. They just import from Turkey all of a sudden. 15,000 tons. Oof. Oh, Ashley St. Clair is the new baby mama for Leon. And what I didn't know about this woman is she was a hardcore MAGA person. And she's talked all kind of shit about all kind of people. And we ain't going to spend a lot of time on this. But according to Patriot Takes here, Ashley St. Clair has deleted all these new tweets today calling out baby daddy Elon Musk and celebrating Milo's suspension. Someone got suspended for posting some photos of her, I believe. And that's what she was going to Leon about. Plus the fact that, hey, I got your baby over here. Oh, I had forgotten about that one. I was too busy stealing and dismantling the U.S. government with my Hitler Youth and throwing up Nazi salutes. Forgive me, Ashley. Would you like some ketamine? Perhaps some ecstasy? Have you met Little X? Fuck you, Ashley. Shush, Ashley. You're not the president. You're not my mommy. You're fake mommy. I could just picture it. Okay, let's read some of the things that Ashley has deleted now that Leon has threatened her, I'm sure, or paid her off. Because those are the only two options for Leon. It's either threats or payoff. It's interesting that Leon is responding to this clearly in jest screenshot that was discussed with his team months ago in a documented call. Now he decides to respond to it publicly from an account that posted underage photos of me as if he wasn't asking me to have more children last week. Last week, you say, Miss St. Clair. Holy fucking shit. Now, was that IVF children or, doing the deed? Because I'm a little suspect of Leon always doing the IVF thing. I don't know. And I know what people are going to say, oh, he's just trying to have a boy. Yeah, sure you. Because men are all about that. Instead of sleeping with the woman. You know what? I'm not even horny, baby. How about we just IVF this thing? You know what men are about. Ladies. A lot of you ladies are too, let's be honest. But men are, horrible, horrible dogs. And I'm no better. Yeah, I would like to this is Jerry Springer shit show territory here, boy. I would like to take this offline for our child's sake and have been attempting to so for weeks. I think she meant to do so. I get it. Ashley's trying to sound classy. She's not. I've seen what she's about. And class is the last thing she's about. I mean, as she's airing her dirty laundry Jerry Springer style all across the world, everyone's seen and read these. And they're forever. It doesn't matter that she deleted them. They're forever. Copies have already been made. It's posted everywhere. Here's Ashley again, because Leon commented on a post here. Leon, we've been trying to communicate for the past several days and you have not responded. When are you going to reply to us instead of publicly responding to smears from an individual who just posted photos of me in underwear at 15 years old? And here's the post Leon kind of looked at. A guy saying he's got a kid with a woman already, seems unlikely to work out. Then Ashley says, well, he actually has 7 kids and goes through women pretty fast. Whoa. That's what Leon said. Whoa. I need to get Elon Musk's attention for a marriage proposal. Please, Greg. I don't know who wrote that, but that's on top here. But Leon responds to the post by saying, whoa. Ashley again, FYI, the security team on Leon's own platform locked the account he is now responding to for a week for posting a non-consensual underwear photo of me as a child. Here's a little bit more from the New York Post. They love juicy stuff like this, don't they? You think Leon would have got this squashed, but I guess Murdoch don't like him. Musk allegedly provided her with a lavish apartment in the financial district where rent for a 2-bedroom can soar to nearly $40,000, according to Street Easy, and a hefty security detail, but no romance, St. Clair claimed. The young mother was allegedly forced to spend her pregnancy alone. What a shocker. A guy worth $300 billion is treating women like this. What a shocker. I was completely isolated during my pregnancy. Every part of my career and everything I used to do, I couldn't do anymore. I was told not to tell anybody, she claimed. Why can't she tell anybody? Leon's not married, is he? That I know of. So why couldn't the world know that he's having a child with this woman? I mean, look what happened to her life. Even though she's a MAGA scumbag, but put that aside for a second. And she only slept with him because he's got a ton of money. No other fucking reason. Because he's not a good-looking dude, let's be honest. Not by any means. I mean, Amber slept with him for $1 million. So, we know what it is. Leon knows what it is. That's why he hates himself. One of the reasons. There's many. So after she has sex or IVF or however this happened, because she says there was no romance. So I don't know how to take that. I know he's all about the IVF thing, and she's really not saying they had sex. But Leon has made her to where she can't talk about it. She's got to pretend she's not pregnant. It affected her career. She basically had to go into hiding. That's what her life became because she got involved with fucking Leon. Now she's on Twitter. Everyone knows her dirty laundry like it's the fucking Jerry Springer show. Ladies, you don't want to do it. The money isn't worth it. Now here is a admitted rube who voted for their own destruction and is now crying online to the rest of us, looking for sympathy, looking for people to rally behind them. They're also crying to the cult leader, please save me. I voted for you. I'm a good sycophant. I promise. Please, can I have my job back? I'll pass the MAGA loyalty test. I'll tell you when I had my first MAGA revelation. Don't worry, Donnie. Here we go. And the person saying, do these people think they are going to get an exception because they are Trumpers? The leopard is not going to put your face back on. Indeed, that's why some people like me have been yelling for 8 years. Because once you pass the threshold, you cannot go back. And we're past the threshold, and many of you rubes are going to come to this same end of the road and realize all this whole cult thing, Donnie Shitbags, Leon, all these, Alex Jones, none of these people gave a fuck about me. I got played. I'm a mark. Here we go. Wait, let me go to the next picture. Oh, it has the whole thing. All right. Donald J. Trump. Hello, sir. I'm one of the probationary employees terminated by the Doge or Hitler Youth at 9 p.m. last night, February 14th. Wow, is that Valentine's Day? That's a nice Valentine's Day gift for all those people, huh? Huh, Donnie? Huh, Leon? I voted for you, sir, 3 times, and I still support you. I was encouraged by the Doge to see they were getting rid of wasteful government spending. That includes you, son. You wasteful too, obviously. And you agree with the philosophy, so what you crying about? Sounds like you should have just packed your shit up, put your stuff at your desk in a box, and went home. Sounds like you all about getting rid of waste. Well, that waste includes you, son. And the rube that lost his job the other day. You're waste, according to Leon and Donnie. U.S. aid, waste. Any money that doesn't go in their pocket, waste. Any human being that isn't benefiting them financially, waste. That's what you're a part of. And it's your own damn fault. Enjoy and reap the whirlwind you have wrought, son. I was encouraged by the Doge to see they were getting rid of wasteful government spending. I support that too. Well, then again, you should have no problem packing your shit up and going home. My termination letter said I was being let go for performance reasons. No, there are no reasons. Just Donnie and Leon want to pocket whatever money you represent. I know that's not true. I am an excellent employee. He's going to make an argument against the actual reasons they said they're letting him go. As if Donnie and Leon ever cared about that. I've been with the federal government 16 years in June. I had started 16 years, you say. Career gone. For abject greed, con men, Satanists, the beast and the false prophet. Oof. And you still on they tip. Look at you. Even after they took everything you had, you still on they tip. That's incredible. See, that's cult mentality, son. Right there. This person personifies it. They still can't let the brainwashing go. Even after their cult leader took every damn thing they had and laughed about it. Wow. You rubes impress me with your dedication to rubery and stubbornness and ignorance. You make a religion of it. It's fascinating to watch. Been with the federal government for 16 years. I started my career USDA, transferred to DHS, recently came back to USDA because it's such a great agency to work for. Well, they don't want people watching our food or anything like that. So I'm loyal. And I firmly believe that the work I do as a USDA APHISPPQ employee is vital and important. My boss, his boss, the managers in neighboring states all agree I'm doing an excellent job and that I'm a great asset to the team. I'm the only whatever in the state of Kentucky, and my work here is valued and honorable. No, it's not valued at all. Each time I voted for you, it was because I knew you'd make things right and you'd fix the wrongs. No, son, you are the wrong, and so is Donnie. If only you had sought wisdom. I'm counting on you now to make this right too. I'm pleading with you to reinstate my employment and give me my job back. Please, Mr. President, thank you. Thank you, they say at the end. That is the personification of cult mentality and true rubery. And wow, they're from Kentucky too. One of them rube states that thinks Donnie loves them. The real estate con man from New York City, who was a liberal all his life, depending on which way the wind blew, because he'd been trying to be president since the early 80s. But you knew all this. You didn't give a fuck. You thought you were wise, and you're just like him. Now it costs you your country, and I told you, your country's already gone, all you rubes out there, and it's going to cost you so much more. And then you're going to go cry to dear, please, can you give me my job back? Can you give me that mark? Go ahead, put it right in between my thumb and forefinger right here. Please. Another rube had to find out the hard way. You were warned 8 years, no sympathy. I'm very sorry. Sorry for not giving sympathy. Not sorry you lost your position, because a lot of people are going to die and will lose their positions that didn't co-sign this. You abject scumbag. Reap what you motherfucking sow. We all adults here, choices have motherfucking consequences. No problem when it was just hurting other people, getting rid of waste, right? He was all about it. He was motivated by them getting rid of waste. He just didn't think they'd consider him waste, because he had such a motherfucking high opinion of himself. Nobody else did, though. And he didn't have a high opinion of America or his fellow citizens. He thought it was great when he thought only other people would get fired. And you all out there thought it was great when you thought your orange monster was only going to go after other people. Guess what? Guess what he's coming for, Rubes? He's coming for you. Every last one. And after you sell your soul and lose everything, after you've lost your entire country, and when you follow him all the way to the abyss, then guess what you lose? Your existence. For Donnie Shitbags, for Satan, for being his hand incarnate on earth, as you were warned by God, by me, by a million other people, over and over again. But you're stubborn, you'll dig in your heels, and you'll ride that horse, that orange horse, and that albino South African horse, right into the motherfucking abyss, just to prove to everybody how smart you are. You've already lost your country. Many of you have lost your job. You will lose your families, your marriages, everything you fucking care about. But you'll continue to follow, because you can't be wrong, right? And even after you follow him all the way to the abyss in the earthly realm, you're going to follow him to the flaming abyss in the next realm, and you won't be anymore. You were warned. You were shown. You were not swayed. It was fun for you. Let's see how fun it is when we stand in Lakeside. Son. In an unprecedented move, French President Emmanuel Macron has called an emergency EU summit in Paris tomorrow. EU leaders will convene to discuss a collective response to statements from Donnie Shitbags and his team regarding a potential U.S. withdrawal from Ukraine and Europe, as well as the implications of Washington's shifting stance toward Russia. How damn sad. America is a pariah on the world stage after 3 weeks. Damn the chaos, the division. That's the beast. That's the Antichrist. That's the power he has. Look at all the things he's incited over the years. Never fought one battle himself, though. Real quick to tell you to go fight it for him, though, son, isn't he? His fat, disgusting diaper-wearing, shitty ass in orange face and a bobby pin comb-over. Quick to tell you motherfuckers to go handle business for him. This is horrible right here. And I know the Rube, fuck Europe. We don't need Europe. We don't need Canada. We don't need Mako except to pick my crops or build that house while I sit in my F-350 drinking beer, working them Mexicans like slaves. That's you. That's your existence. So I assume you won't give a fuck about this. Here's the danger. Again, rubes that don't care about history, never studied it, and would never take a lesson from it. Even if they did, they would just try to pass the test and get 100. Would they apply any of the wisdom? Absolutely motherfucking not. Never. Here is wisdom for the rube who has none. When all of our European allies move on without us and treat us as a pariah and decide we can't rely on America anymore, Canada, Mexico, all the European countries, what's left? China, Russia. Oh, you mean dictatorships that have fake economies and are utterly unreliable and hate our guts and want to see our children starving so they can be the #1 empire. And Vlad has a personal vendetta against us, actually, for making the fall of the Soviet Union happen. The CIA did that back in the day. So he really hates you. He wants to see America burn. As Donnie plays his fiddle. I know you don't know what that analogy means either. But whatever. So this is really bad. And it's really bad to tell all of Europe, yeah, you have no say on Ukraine. This is Donnie and Vlad's thing. Because I'm the Antichrist. So Europe and Canada and Mexico, if all these countries, all these regions decided to say, fuck America, we ain't doing business with you, nothing, we'd be fucked. Because we can't rely on Russia and China and the dictators of the world. They're unreliable scumbags that steal every dollar their country makes. We cannot rely on them. And they hate our fucking guts. Even though they like Donnie and Leon. So when the European Union says we need to build a coalition to counter the United States in the future because we can't trust them, they're becoming an increasing threat to the world. We're becoming the terror state. For you are the hand of Satan and your orange messiah and your pasty albino oligarch are terrorists now in the eyes of the rest of the world. Utterly dangerous rubes. But I know we don't need... Pour the wine in the gutter, freedom fries. Because they don't want to join us, steamrolling the Middle East for no fucking reason. Because the greatest military in the world couldn't stop a few 747s. Let me not even go down that rabbit hole. Senator Lindsey Graham told J-Mart he clued President Donald Trump in about Ukraine's rare earths gold mine. Trump now sees Ukraine differently, he added. That's a quote from Miss Lindsey. I almost fell on my fainting couch. Lindsey Graham, who, if he's not a closeted gay, I don't know what is, wants credit, wants you and I and the news world to understand that he gave Donnie the idea to go after Ukraine's resources and minerals. As their people are being raped, murdered, tortured, kidnapped, killed, starved. Miss Lindsey wants you to know out there, and I want to be real clear about this because Miss Lindsey seems real intent on it. Miss Lindsey wants you to know out there in Rube land and all the rest of us that he gave Donnie the idea to extort Ukraine again. The lake awaits, Miss Lindsey. Sorry, Lindsey, I just don't see you repenting of any of this. You're literally trying to make it about you that Donnie tried to extort Ukraine for their mineral rights. Oof. The man ain't gonna like that one, Lindsay. Very sorry. Very sorry. He's gonna be a lot madder than that, than mad at your sex life. Don't worry, Lindsay. You're perfectly safe there. This is what he's really gonna be mad about. Trust me. Because I can't express how low and disgusting what that man said is. Who would want to take credit for that but a child of Satan like Miss Lindsay? Here's another one. Now, this person, they don't sound like they voted Donnie. But again, they didn't say. I was terminated from my dream job with the Children's Bureau yesterday due to the federal restructuring executive order, DOGE. I am unemployed for the first time since I was 15 years old. I hope you get your fucking cheap eggs. So she's sounding like she didn't vote for this and she's anti-MAGA. But again, she's not being clear. And here's a comment under that post. His agenda is to give all the money he's stealing from legitimate government projects that were created by Congress to himself and other billionaires. I said this before the election. I said all this cost cutting and getting rid of departments and all that. And it wasn't about wasteful spending, wasn't about saving money. It's about looting the place. And that's what this person's saying as well. They finally catching up, huh? This isn't the U.S. anymore. It's a corporate oligarchy, and we the people are nothing more than their free-range peasants. Indeed, we've been that for a long time, but now it's going to go full fascist, where even the oligarchy isn't prepared for it. And they're all sitting right back on their yachts, drinking their fucking drinks right now, loving life, and thinking about how they got it all figured out, and we got Donnie on a leash, and don't worry, it's going to be cool. No, son. Go back and look what happened again during World War II when all of your ancestor oligarchs thought the same motherfucking thing. I wonder how many of them lost everything. How many of them got executed? See what I'm saying? This beast you've wrought, you've unleashed on us. He's not on the leash. And he don't give a fuck about none of you people either. And that's what I tried to tell you before the election as well, the oligarchy specifically. Do you want your country to be Russia? You want Donnie to be knocking on your door for 100 million like Vlad? Just taking your money. He doesn't have to yet. You're all offering him tribute. Eventually, that's not going to be good enough. And you're going to be tired of giving tribute. I told you this all in advance. Look at you all now. I was terminated from my dream job with the Children's Bureau yesterday due to that. I already read that. I want to read the other one. Hey, Leon, your Doge minions just fired me and my colleagues at CMMI. We were working on improving maternal health outcomes at lower costs so that less pregnant women would die in this country. I thought that would fit nicely into your agenda since Leon's all about, populating the world with his own sperm. You'd think he'd be down for this, right? No, he doesn't give a fuck. And again, that person doesn't say who they voted for, so I'm a little suspect. I was starting to like the woman, and then I thought about it. You people need to be clear when you're looking for sympathy and you're looking to rally people online. When you tell your fucking sob story, you best be clear who you voted for and don't lie about it. Because I know a lot of you is about to lie. This is going to be just like Benedict Arnold, Adolf Hitler, everybody that took part and argued for it and yelled how great it was and cheered it on. After it all plays out, they'll be the same motherfucker acting like they were never down with the bullshit. That they weren't the hand of Satan. I don't think that's going to work this time. It's worked in prior historical situations, but this is the last historical situation, so it ain't going to work this time, sorry. There's a man that's going to judge all you people. Not these liars and hypocrites down here. And that judgment's eternal. Hopefully for your sake, you didn't take part in any of this. And you definitely didn't take the mark. Because once you do that, there's no repentance. There's no going back. There's no, I'm sorry, Jesus. Nope. But you are all wise out there, I know. That's why we're in a dictatorship now, a Nazi dictatorship in 2025, because there's so many wise people in this nation and in the world. Trump just fired 88 employees at the Western Area Power Administration. Combined with Elon's buyout, we could be looking at a 20% reduction in their workforce, crippling the Western grid and leading to blackouts and power outages. Again, Power Administration, we don't need those people, right? Because there's not just a ridiculous demand for power per day in this fat, greedy nation. Again, just so dangerous. Getting rid of 3,000 forest workers, power people. Again, Rubes, I don't know if you noticed, but you're being looted right before your eyes. As you're yelling on Facebook and in my comment section, be you paid or not, how great this all is and how stupid I am and blah, 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 fucking blah. You are being looted and dismantled right in front of your face. And a dictatorial regime is taking shape. And I know you Rubes have loved to use that word about this president, that president in prior times. This is a whole nother animal, son. Like in Hitler's day, again, the age-old saying, all politicians are the same. It's just politics as usual. It's going to be the same 20 years from now, and then 4 years as it was. No, son. Then every once in a while, I said this for 8 years, a motherfucker like Adolf comes along. A beast. Something that can't be controlled. Something that's not politics as usual. Where you end up with everyone in the government being fired. The night of the long knives, basically, was not one night. It was many nights. Kind of like this. The Purge. That's what's going on here. Looting. Purging. What comes after all that is really bad. Remember, Donnie said before the election their work would conclude right before midterm elections. The Doge team, the Hitler Youth. I wonder why their work concludes right before the midterms. Are we even going to have midterms? I have no confidence we will. I have no confidence I won't wake up one morning and hear that Hegseth and a bunch of military men arrested every liberal in government. I ain't joking in the slightest when I say that either. I don't say things lightly like you Rubes do after watching Alex Jones. I know what this is. This is the legit authoritarian movement that you've been reading about forever. And it will be the worst of them all. Because we have the beast, the false prophet, and the dragon in charge of this movement. Literally. It will be horrible. And we just in the beginning look at the damage done already. Allies hate us. Millions losing their job. The chaos, division, war, and worship is the point. That's what all this is. That's what you're witnessing. And the end goal is worship. For the dragon and for the beast. Watch it happen. You think goat statues with $100 bills that say "In Trump we trust," you think that's normal, son? It's not. That's tribute to a certain individual. And it's an abomination, and it's blasphemy. And it's replacing the name of God in front of the whole world with an orange-faced con man, fat ass, with a diaper full of shit. That's what you Rubes are doing when you laugh at stuff like that, when you argue in favor of stuff like that. You are utterly insulting your alleged God that you allege to believe in. Anyway, I'm not really about giving a sermon right now. I've been on here way too fucking long. So I'll say what I say at the end of most all of them. Turn away now. Don't argue with me. Don't debate me. Just turn the fuck away, son. Because I don't want to know you and I don't want to debate you. We way past the point of debates. We've already lost everything as a nation. Now you're about to lose everything personally. Get ready for it. I hope you're ready. And guess what? Donnie and Leon don't give a fuck about any of you. They never did. It was all a grift, and it was all to serve their master. And again, you are the hand of Satan currently. You helped make all this happen. You put your name on it. If you do not turn away, and if you take that mark, it is over for you. Your existence will be no more. And I know we all think this is all there is. But Leon and Donnie's actions show me, even though I already knew, this ain't all there is. There's something supernatural and higher about all this. And what you've been shown by God this past 8 years. The thief, the righteous man, you chose the thief. If you continue to choose the thief, you will no longer exist. That's simple, and you'll have a meeting at the lake. You know how I know that's all real? Because now I know the Antichrist and the false prophet are real. Thanks to you, Rubes. Thanks to you putting your name on it. Giving them the opportunity to reveal themselves. Well done. Turn away before it's too late. That's all I can say. Get out of the cult while you still can. The same thing I've been saying for 8 fucking years. Don't want to debate you, son. Have a good day.